All right, she has officially been in the race a mere 36 hours, and already the liberal mainstream media are having a field day with presidential candidate Michelle Bachmann. Now, today on Good Morning America, George Stephanopoulos ruthlessly berated the Minnesota congresswoman for comments that she made on everything from the founding fathers to minimum wage, and she even tried to stir up a little bit of trouble with former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin.
You said that the founding fathers who wrote the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence worked tirelessly to end slavery. Now, with respect, Congresswoman, that's just not true.
Well, if you look at one of our founding fathers, John Quincy Adams, that's absolutely true. He was a very young boy when he was with his father, serving essentially as his father's secretary. He tirelessly worked throughout his life to make sure that we did, in fact, one day eradicate slavery from our nation.
He wasn't one of the founding fathers. You said it back in 2005 that taking away the minimum wage could potentially virtually wipe out unemployment. Where's the evidence for that?
What I'm saying is that I think that we need to look at all regulations, whatever ones are inhibiting job growth. That's what we need to.
And the minimum wage is one of them. Do you think Sarah Palin's trying to rain on your parade by coming to Iowa today?
All right, this after Washington Post columnist Colby King just called Bachmann a, quote, Barbie with fangs last week. So you think they get away with these kind of verbal attacks if the candidate in question was, say, Hillary Clinton instead of a conservative congresswoman? Talk about a double standard. Joining me now with reaction, Democratic strategist Julie Roginski is with us, and Fox News contributor Andrea Tantaros, whose latest column about Bachmann can be found on our website, foxnews.com. Guys, good to see you. Welcome back. All right, so maybe we should just follow this model. Maybe, all right, gloves off. The way conservative women is now the standard, and I will treat liberal women, elected officials, the same way that conservative women are treated. The gloves are off now.
It would never fly. It would never fly. First of all, they would create such a stink about it that now National Organization for Women would be putting out press releases. You'd have every liberal columnist, every fair and balanced journalist like Stephanopoulos would be defending these women. It just does not happen. I've said this before on your show, and I will say it again. The last acceptable form, Sean, of prejudice is misogyny against conservative females. She's getting Palinized.
But I think it's unfair to say that Hillary Clinton was not excoriated by the media back in 2008.
But not in these personal terms.
Well, excoriated?
Excoriated. In 2008, there was so much, like the shrillery, for example. I can't remember that being said over and over again.
Remember the tape of her screaming at the top of the lungs?
Well, Sean, you know what? If a man were to say it, you'd be you wouldn't call them shrill. You'd say they were speaking their mind. So Hillary Clinton had
a lot called her shrill.
A lot of sexism, but you're alluding to the fact that she was speaking.
The Hillary Clinton campaign loved me because I actually asked tougher questions about Obama than anyone else in the media.
You know what? And I think Barack Obama got a free ride compared to Hillary Clinton.
Free ride.
Compared to Hillary Clinton back in 2008.
What does that say about journalism in America?
I think that Andrea is absolutely right. I think women are held to a completely different standard in journalism. But I don't think it's a conservative woman thing. I think Hillary Clinton is not a conservative woman, and I think she got excoriated in 2008.
Look, I think women in politics are held to a different standard, but nobody gets it worse than conservative women. Meg Whitman was called a whore, now said nothing, now actually agreed, the head of Now agreed with Jerry Brown's staffer's comments.
Laura Ingraham was called a slut.
Chris Matthews said that Michelle Bachmann should take a literacy test. Really? She's a lawyer.
But Michelle Bachmann should take a history test. And listen, let's not pretend that Michelle Bachmann hasn't made gaffes.
Stephanopoulos got it wrong, Julie. Stephanopoulos got it wrong.
Stephanopoulos did not get it wrong.
Yes, he did.
When he said that John Quincy Adams was not a founding father, he was not. He did not get it wrong when Lexington and Concord are not in New Hampshire.
That wasn't what she said.
We got a montage. So we're going to show this, later in as much as, Democrats, the president, the vice president, they all have made gaffes. 57 states, Navy corpsmen. I see many of you out there on this Memorial Day. And I can go, if we want to solve the gas shortage, et cetera, and the energy problem, we got to inflate our tires and give our cars tune-ups.
Jokes about special needs children that aren't funny.
But Sean,
right. 7-Eleven.
But Sean, they give him a pass, they give Biden a pass, they laugh it off. Nobody asks them if they're a flake.
Well,
really
I will say I will agree with you on the fact that her being called a flake was a horrible misogynistic thing to say. And look, I have a lot of respect for Chris Wallace, but he should never have called her a flake.
And he apologized.
And he apologized for it, and he did the right thing by apologizing. But
do you think when the president read Navy corpsmen, Don't you? He didn't know what a corpsman was.
Yeah, exactly.
He did not know what a corpsman.
I think he did know.
No. He said it 3 times in one speech. He read it off the. And Navy corpsman. Navy corpsman.
John, that's a rhetorical gaffe. When Michelle Bachmann.
Rhetorical?
When Michelle Bachmann, it's a rhetorical gaffe. When Michelle Bachmann goes on TV today or yesterday and says that the president has depleted the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, that's a whole different. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact that she got wrong when she said that Lexington and Concord are in New Hampshire.
Politicians get facts wrong, Julie.
Every day,
conservative women are questioned.
We don't have 57 states. That's a fact too.
You're absolutely right. It is a fact, and that's a gaffe. But I mean, he doesn't make them every single day. Michelle Bachmann
makes a lot of them.
Michelle Bachmann, every time she opens her mouth, John Wayne Gacy versus John Wayne.
John Wayne was born. John Wayne.
Not in Waterloo, Iowa. He wasn't.
John Wayne was born in Iowa.
Not in Waterloo, he wasn't. But I mean,
this is now you're nitpicking. You're trying to just.
Sean, I'm not nitpicking, but if you're running for the highest office of the land, at least David Letterman actually had a great point yesterday. Get your facts straight on. Don't.
If they would have spent as much time on Bill Ayers, I mean, he never would have been elected president.
Democrats say lies all the time about the budget, about serious issues, and they're just ignored constantly. Well, the point is, though, the way that they treat conservative women, they question their parenting skills. Hillary Clinton wasn't questioned about her decision.
Their dress.
Posing on the cover of Runner's World, they sexualized Sarah Palin. I mean,
she sexualized herself.
They questioned whether her special needs son was her own. And this is not just fringe leftist bloggers. This is mainstream media.
You're talking about how they dress. How many conversations we had about Hillary's hairstyle and Hillary's pantsuits? I mean, this happens all the time. You can't say this only happens to conservative women.
Yeah, but the
women
thing is,
in general
this level of vitriol. And look, I've been a pretty staunch critic of Hillary Clinton. Believe me, I would take Hillary Clinton over Barack Obama any day as president. And me starting the Stop Hillary Express was a big mistake in my life because I had no idea how bad he is in terms of being president. Now, with that said, he's going to be defeated because his record is one of failure. But I'd like to see this. I'd like to see more liberal women. You're a liberal woman.
I am.
Why won't more of you speak out and say, this has got to stop? Let's get away from the personal attacks.
I will be the first to say that calling somebody shrill or calling somebody a flake or otherwise alluding to their parenting skills, as people have done with Sarah Palin, is wrong.
So why don't women's groups do it, Julie?
Because
they're an arm of the Democratic Party.
I'm a Democrat, and I'm not an arm of the Democratic Party, but I'm a liberal woman, and I'm saying to you that this has got to stop. What does not have to stop is the fact that women should be held to the same standards as men, and if she screws up the same way Mitt Romney screwed up,
the president talks to dead people, doesn't know the difference between Memorial Day or Veterans Day. If the president doesn't know 57 states from 50, if the president doesn't know what Navy corpsmen are versus corpsmen, it seems to me.
You pointed out, as you rightfully should. But you can't get upset.
I think Michelle Bachman.
But the media doesn't do it.
Sean, you are the media. You point it out every day.
Michelle Bachman handled it perfectly.
She did.
She didn't get in a fight with the media. She just goes about her way. If she makes a mistake, she apologizes and she moves on.
We're going to show these next, but I think they're afraid of Michelle Bachman.
They're deeply threatened by a woman like Michelle Bachman, just like they were with Sarah.
I think they're afraid of you, too, Tantaros. You ought to run for president.
I'm afraid of Andrea, but I'm praying for Michelle Bachman.
They probably think I'm a flake, too, but that's okay. Their opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion matters. Anything but. That's all that matters.
That's right.
All right. Now, speaking of this, coming up, Michelle Bachman may be the new target, #1 for the mainstream media. But coming up next, we're actually going to show you the video we were talking about. Major figures in the Democratic Party, they deserve the spotlight. And that means Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Their greatest gaffes we'll show you coming up next.